Well, I need to welcome you back, and we're still with the big story for today. We're still talking about the further depreciation of the Naira and what it will really mean for the economy that seems to be struggling. With that very revelation coming from the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria just on Sunday, indicating that they need to downsize or they need to close shop. Well, what should the federal government do to indeed help address this issue is what's still on the front burner of on the show today. But anyway, I still have him here. I'm talking of no other person but Prince Kojento. We're helping out with letting us truly understand what the problem is and how it can also be resolved. But anyway, you do know how we love to do it. We need to go on a break now. I'll get message from our sponsors. We're talking about Benetta Gas, located right here in Ughelli, Warri and Verons. And when we come back, more discussion on the big story for today.
Better quality, if you dey talk gas matter, oh yeah, follow Benetta. Gas with the better quality, Benetta gas. Gas where they full rich man, na Benetta gas. Delivery brother na sharply, Benetta gas. For Benetta gas, no mango, na Benetta gas. Get different type of gas cylinder, Benetta gas. That gas we go last you well, na Benetta gas. For gas matter, Benetta now do. Them they run Benetta make you carry go.
For gas matter and home delivery, make you wire Benetta gas plant for 080-6745-7890 and 080-5904-7722. Benetta gas plant, the Tequele of gas matters.
Well, it really matters, and that's why we're talking about it. And we're talking about the depreciation of the Naira, further depreciation of the Naira, and the resultant effect on the economy. Now, like I said, we're really looking at these as we try to also see, or rather look at what measures need to be taken by the Central Bank of Nigeria and also on the part of the federal government to deal with the issues. Well, anyway, let's quickly run back to it. And yeah, you've talked greatly on what the challenge is and why we seem to be where we are at the moment. But I can still remember, now on the day before the rate cap was removed by the CBN in June of 2023, the Naira traded at 471 Naira per dollar. And funny enough, we are now at 1,035 Naira per dollar. Now, I'm just a bit curious to understand what will a continuous fall of the Naira mean for ordinary Nigerians. Yeah, because we looked at what it means for the manufacturing sector, but what would it mean for ordinary Nigerians that are trying to just go by their normal day-to-day activities and would just really want to struggle and deal with the issues? So what would this constant fall of the Naira mean for everyone?
It has serious implications for all of us. We are all part of the economy, whether you're a manufacturer, you're a trader, you're a consumer. We are all part of the economy, and if you look critically at it, it's affecting all of us. The manufacturers, they are raising alarm because they are manufacturers, they have a body, a Manufacturer Association of Nigeria, so they can hold a press conference. The ordinary people on the street, they can't. They can't hold a press conference. Yeah. They only complain to themselves. If you look at the price of goods, it's been on a constant rise.
Yes, yes.
I made mention of a simple example of soft drinking that is gradually rising. Before at a point it was sold for 150 Naira. Yeah, per bottle. Per bottle. It moved to 180 Naira, it moved to 200 Naira, it moved to 250 Naira, it is now moving to 300 Naira. That's within 6 months, just for a drink. Also look at water, even pure water. You see, before I used to tell people that no matter how things are difficult in Nigeria, pure water is always 5 Naira. But if you watch now, pure water is about 30 Naira. They sell it 30 Naira, I said 2 for 50 Naira and all that. So there's serious implication for all of us. Because if the producers, the manufacturers, because whatever we consume is coming from a particular source. And if they are challenged, it simply means they will pass the cost on to us. And that's why you see inflation is on. The price of all consumer goods, everything, household, everything, is jumping up. rice, Gary. Somebody was saying Gary yesterday basket. It's 1,800. It's pursuing 2,000 basket of Gary.
And funny enough, we do not import Gary.
No, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. We do not. Yes, we do not import Gary. Now, another aspect to it is the energy cost.
Okay. In production.
Yes, in production. That's another aspect to it. The energy cost, the transport cost. That's why, the last time I was here, I said, that move of removing the subsidy and floating the Naira at the same time, our economy is too fragile for you to give it such a shock that it will spiral out of control. I think this about some months ago.
Yeah, I could see, remember.
I said this thing will spiral out of control.
Here we are.
The government was saying by December things will stabilize. No, we don't have the capacity. You only do that when your economy is strong a little bit. You look at yourself, then you evaluate. You take the step one by one. I talked about power. Power is getting worse. I don't know
whether the mining will sign that great deal with Siemens, and
I don't know the effect since Buhari's time up to now. How many years now? More than 4 or 5 years. There's no tangible effect. The power is getting worse. Yesterday I saw one of the NEPA guys that take care of our area, and I was calling him. I said, my brother, how come we don't have light? He said, no. He said, you know what he told me? He said, Egbin power plant. He said Egbin power plant.
We've had countless collapse of the national grid. We can count almost 5 in the last year and a half.
Not yet. It's now, right now, in the last 1 to 3 months, it's almost on a daily basis. The national grid will collapse, just like that, because there's no power. He was telling me that the Egbin power produced the largest amount of power, and right now they are challenged. So, you see, I always say that, look, if we don't put a lot of attention on how to solve our power problem, we are dancing around in the same point. Nothing will happen for us.
Okay, now, as much as we're having this discussion, we had the opportunity of getting the reaction of no other person but Gabriel Idahosa. He's the president of the Lagos Chambers of Commerce and Industry on this very issue. And, well, in response to it, he feels that the only way these companies can really remain afloat is for them to truly downsize. So he said. But I'm a bit confused and worried. Not confused, but rather worried. Now, we're in a country that our unemployment rate is at double figures. Now, having more persons, yes, we've said it, many multinationals have left. Jubilee Syringe, we have P&G, we have Smith, all has left on account of challenges being faced by them. And as they left with the jobs. And now we're having our own local manufacturers also complaining and saying they will downsize. Now, what would this mean for the unemployment rate? That is even now very uncomfortable that even the World Bank is telling us, guys, you need to slow down and stand up and do something. If you do not, in the foreseeable future, it's really going to be a very hard one, because we're going to be faced with social unrest, we're faced with so many vices on account of the high unemployment rate. So let's look at now they're telling us, come on, we need to downsize. Let's look at the unemployment rate and what ripple effects this would have in the long run.
If you look at it, the unemployment rate has been on a steady rise for some years now.
Undermining the National Bureau of Statistics used another index in measuring it and came out with a figure that has always been disputed 4.81% in last year. But let's leave all of that drama alone, though. Go ahead.
It's been on the rise, and an economy that is not productive, that is not stable, you expect that the unemployment rate will be on the rise. If you watch, normally, the role of government, the function of government is to provide the enabling environment for those interested in enterprise.
To thrive.
And once they thrive, they will employ people.
Of course.
Me and you, as we are here now, if I open a shop, I will employ 1-2 persons. If you open your own shop, you employ 1-2 persons. Now, if you open that shop and you are able to run the shop, you will drive 1 person. It will remain 1 person. Even after a year, you keep having challenges, you close down the shop. That's what it is. Simple, straightforward. Forget all the big grammar and everything. It's simple, it's straightforward. All the enterprises, big companies, small enterprise in Nigeria, they are all struggling to survive. Because if you have a shop, you buy from your supplier. By the time you go to buy more from your supplier, by the time you go to your supplier tomorrow, what you bought 100 naira or what you bought 1,000 naira, your supplier will tell you, they've increased it to 1,500. What it effectively means is that the capital, your capital is now half.
Constantly,
your capital,
depreciating.
Yes, it will be depreciating. I have a friend. I have a friend. It's a funny story. People will laugh. One day I saw her and I said, how are you doing? He said, now wow. I said, you used to have a shop. She has a shop in a campus, in one of the campus in the Warri Metropolis there. I said, how are you doing? How is the shop doing? He said, no, I closed down the shop. I said, why? What happened? He said, it's spiritual problem. I said, spiritual problem? He said, I was having challenges. I said, what happened? What sort of spiritual problem is that? He said, look, I invested 4 million. The 4 million turned to 2 million. After some time, the 2 million I cannot find. So I went to my church and said, look, this is the challenge I'm having. And they told me it's spiritual problem. It's spiritual problem. And they said, I have to do something. I said, so what are you doing? I said, look, they said, I have to preach, serve God so that God can help me. If not, that problem will continue. But what she doesn't understand was that inflation was depreciating her capital and has wiped it out. It's not a spiritual problem. It's the Nigerian problem. Her 4 million is wiped out. She didn't mismanage it. Take note.
So she will not be needing any holy oil? Or...
No. It's not a spiritual problem. Nothing is wrong. Inflation has wiped out her capital. Wiped out the capital, wiped out the profit, wiped out. If you meet everybody trading, doing one thing or the other, it's the same challenge because inflation is constantly on the rise. It's moving up and up and up and up. And the government seems to feel, the president will come out, the minister of finance will come out, the CBN governor will come out, that you people don't worry. After some time, things...
The shock will.
But the heart of all of this is the forex on one part, the energy crisis on one part. And they don't seem to be doing anything tangible.
Yeah, talk about do, because, now we're not going to any babalawo or going to any spiritual home. What should the government do? Because what I'm asking these now is, basically the World Bank came out just the day before yesterday to tell us, guys, most multinationals are leaving. Is going to have more of a problem for you guys because it's hurting investors' confidence in the country. Now, what do you feel the federal government needs to do to deal with this issue of forex? Let's start with forex because that's where the challenge is now. What should the federal government do now? Not a quick fix. Could not be a quick fix because I don't see any quick fix in doing this. What should they do?
Recently I read that. We expected, I think, $3 billion from African Development Bank. That's NNPC.
And they say they use it in dealing with the issue of forex.
NNPC, then African Exim Bank, giving us something else. And the backlog by these airlines that we are owing these airlines.
We need to repatriate.
You need to repatriate. They are settling that. But you see that is not also having an effect. It's not. You can see it's not having the desired effect. I've said it here in this program before. It's going to be somehow. But the step we need to take, the government need to peg that Naira.
Go back to pegging.
Yes. Look, don't listen to IMF. Don't listen to World Bank. We need to find a solution for ourselves. We are in the mess now. Because when we are digging, when you keep digging the hole, you keep digging in a hole. And if you don't stop,
you find it difficult to come out.
Peg that Naira. Economically, the theory, it doesn't sound nice. It's not the right thing to do. But in our situation now, it was what we didn't know before. What we didn't know before was that it was that pegging
that was helping.
That was helping us. that was helping us. Now, if you peg it, then we can start from somewhere. Because this free fall, we don't have the capacity, we can't. Do you know how much we need for Forex to be able to make a turnaround? We don't. We don't. Our oil production, crude production, what we produce per day, now I think we've targeted 1.8 million. We are not
and we're funny enough.
We are not doing 1.8 million.
We're thinking of only showing up to 2 million.
We are not, right now, we are not doing 1.8 million. Even if we are doing 1.88 million, like what I mentioned earlier before, it's been mortgaged. We don't have access to all the Forex. Some people have given it out so that we can import.
And that's why the value of the petrol still remains the same. Because we've already done that business before now.
Yes. Now you see that it's only NNPC importing fuel. You have to say, why? Why is it only NNPC importing fuel? Because right now what the government is trying to do is to make sure, because as it is now, everything is fragile. If the price of fuel shifts, if you leave it, other people to import, it will rise quickly to 1,000 naira. It will rise quickly beyond 1,000 naira. The way the Forex is behaving, if you leave it, and this will rise up to everything, there will be social unrest. So what the government is trying to do, using NNPC to make sure that there's some form of stability. So that's what is.
I will not call it subsidy.
No, they are not. But it is. It is right now, because the price of fuel, if you don't subsidize it, can't sell for what it is. How it's selling. So I just hope, they say the Port Harcourt refinery, it's going to come on stream.
Yeah, Dangote have received its 6th supply of
Yes,
food.
I just hope all of that comes. Because transportation, we need to deal with transportation crisis. We need to deal with energy crisis. Then basically power. We need to, I don't know, when during President Yaradwa's regime, he came out and said he has, I think, was it 7-point agenda or 3-point agenda, something like that. Then he focused. If I were advise or talk to President Tinubu, I would say focus. Focus on power. Focus on energy. Make sure, just focus on power and energy. Somehow the other things will start.
Just keep filing in.
Yes, just focus on that. But I don't know, right now, if you watch, even the government is not sending the right signal to all of us. Because at the time when people are struggling also, we look at government, the government seems to be flamboyant. If we come out on the street and you see a government convoy, it's so long, and you ask yourself, is this, now all of us did this country, so.
And funny enough, we have issues that are still being debated of 587 million naira that was sent into a private account, almost at 7 billion.
But good enough, the president has
taking action. No, we're talking about it's not there, but we are seeing how it's being spent.
What it means is that if at a time in our economy where we need to be focused, all government officials or appointees of the president need to be focused on finding a way out of this mess. But you see, a minister doing that, it shows you that something is wrong.
Maybe the money is there.
No, it's not about for me, it's not about whether the money is there. But for what the minister did, I wonder, why will such an action take place? Government is not
such a situation.
Yes, government is not run that way. Why we should think about something like that?
Anyway, we're not go deep into her issues, but I'll plead with you to hold on. We need to go on a break now, and when we come back, we'll truly make it interactive because we're quite certain we'll open up the lines. All will be for us to get your reactions, views, and comments all on the big story for today.